This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring, outside the ring, it's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling.
Come on! And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Welcome back to the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Things are a little different. We'll get back to normal as soon as possible. Keith, before we get started, tell the people what's up. How are you, buddy?
What's up, y'all? You already know who it is. A little bit different this week because we have not been recording for a little bit just because I have been working on all of this you see behind you and all here and everything. New studio's coming because the baby's taking over my office. The new baby is. But anyway, don't mind my outward appearance. Still repping wrestling. Got an old Rusev Day shirt. Gotta love it. But we gotta go Bad Blood. Bad Blood predictions. First Bad Blood in God knows how long. We got to go for it. So I'm here. Nick's there. We're there. But we're going to do it.
You're the man, Keith. Like I said, we'll be back as soon as possible. But let's get to the picks. My pick is in. CM Punk is going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre in hell in a cell. And I got to go with CM Punk just because it needs to happen, just because we know what the deal is. If Punk wins here, then he's going on to better and bigger things. And with Drew, it doesn't really matter. He can lose or win and still continue to be this great heel that we've seen for the past few months here, maybe even a year. I forget exactly, but I'm going Punk. The people want it. I want it. Keith, I don't know if you want it, but let's hear it. What do you got here, brother?
Punk, Drew, Hell in a Cell. I think this is going to open it because they're in Georgia. Cody's from Georgia. I feel like they're going to want the hometown boy doing like the main event. So I think this one opens the night because it's a big-ass match. This is such a tough call. I'm looking forward to this match. I know I talk a lot of smack on Punk, but I love a Hell in a Cell, and this feud is definitely one that has like built up to needing a Hell in a Cell. I'm gonna go with Punk because he's the newer one back. I feel like that's who they're gonna want to do it with. You can't have Punk lose his first big feud. I want Drew to just keep his stuff running, but I think it's gonna be Punk overall. But regardless of the winner, I think it's going to be a good match. And if it's not, I'm going to just keep coming down on old Chicago Phil there. But we'll see what happens.
Right out of the gate, we both pick CM Punk. Hell in the Cell. Exciting. Bad Blood. Exciting. Let's get to the next match. It's for the WWE Women's Championship. Your champion, Nia Jax, going one-on-one with... Oh, wait. Who is it? Oh, Bayley's back. Insert her into the title picture, and we got a match at Bad Blood. Interesting. Let's see what happens here, but I gotta go Nia. I just don't understand the whole concept with Bayley coming back. I love Bayley. I'm not hating on Bayley. I think she's great. I think she's one of the best. But again, you insert her into the title picture, and it's like, does she win? Can she win? Does it make sense for her to win? I don't think so. I'm liking Nia. I'm liking Tiffany on Friday nights. I don't want to change that up, so I'm going Nia. Keith, give the people what they want. They want the picks. The picks are in, Keith. Let's hear it. What do you got?
Nice. I dig it, man. I dig it. Good stuff there. So Nia Bayley, this one for me... I don't know. I'm going to make the same call I made before. Nia retains, Tiffy cashes in. We're at a point now, I don't think Bayley takes it from Nia. I don't think that's the way that it goes, but I don't think Nia walks out with the belt. I know I made this exact same prediction before, and I was totally wrong, but I feel like we're now at a point in the story where, like, there's been some tension between Nia and Tiffy a lot more. The whole, Nia flipping out on her and choking her out for, like, a second happened just in the last week, so, like... I think we're at a point now where, like, Tiffy's cash-in makes even more sense than it would have initially. This is kind of a whatever match to me. I hate to say that because, like, the women's division's real good. Nia has been really on fire. I've said that a bunch since she's been back. But this match is going to be what it's going to be. I think Nia retains. Bailey's going to move on to whatever, but then Tiffy cashes in. Tiffy is leaving as our WWE Women's Champion.
Agree to disagree. That's what we can do, and that's what we do here. Let's get to the next match. It is Finn Balor going one-on-one with Damian Priest, and it's kind of funny. When the Judgment Day started, it was kind of convoluted. You didn't really know what was happening. Now, at the end of the Judgment Day in this storyline, it's still going, but the whole Judgment Day in itself is still convoluted. I don't know what's happening. I know I want to see this match. I know this match is going to kick some arse, but I'm going to go with Finn Balor here. I think he needs it more. Damian Priest, he can win, he can lose, but he's still with mommy, and that's still fun to watch. But if Balor loses, it's like, well, what is he still going for? What is he trying to do? And if he just loses, it's like, okay, on to the next one. But what is the next one? With Priest, he can win, he can lose. And like I said, mommy's still on his side, and it's still entertaining. And they still have Dom and Liv Morgan in their I was going to say rear mirror, but ahead of them. They are ready for the next portion of the storyline, the next step in the storyline. So I'm going Finn Balor.
Yeah, I know, man. I agree. Or maybe I disagree. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Priest Balor, this is kind of a whatever match for me. This is filler. This might even open it because it's kind of just so pointless and there's no stakes to it. I don't know. But whatever. I think Priest wins because of something I'm going to say later, but the whole dissolution of the Judgment Day feud in general, like all this is going on, has been kind of like pointless because really, it's really just about Dom and Rhea and Liv. Like, that's the bigger story of it all. Like, yeah, there's all the stuff of you're not a leader, but you tried to be a leader. There's no leaders, so I'm going to fight you now with Balor and Priest, which is where we are now with this. But like, that's not the compelling story coming out of this breakup to me. It's way more about what we're going to talk about in a little bit here. So like, it's going to be whatever. I think, yeah, I'm going to stick with Priest wins, but there's going to be interference. JD McDonough is going to come out. Maybe Carlito does because he's still involved with the Judgment Day for some reason. It's going to be what it's going to be. This is kind of a really whatever match for me. I'm going to say Priest, but I honestly hate to be that guy or so like me, but like, I don't really care. It's kind of whatever.
Great points from the Keith man, the duder of all duders. No, that's Chad Gable, but Keith is the duder of the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Keith, let's get to the next match for the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan is your champion, going one-on-one with Rhea Ripley. And what's funny here is Liv dated Enzo. He was in a shark cage. Now she's dating a.k.a. Dirty Dom Mysterio, and he's in a shark cage. So I don't know, something's up there with Liv, but Liv Morgan, as much as I dislike her wrestling ability, she is great on the mic. She is entertaining. She is a WWE superstar at its finest, and she's just doing a lot of good things. Rhea is the modern day, whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it a China, if you want to call it Trish, you want to call it Lita. She is the best women's wrestler in the world of professional wrestling or sports entertainment. It's not the same. It is the same. It's not the same. Another day, another time. I'm sorry, I'm getting off. But Liv Morgan retains here. It just makes so much sense for Liv to still have the championship, and for Rhea, aka Stone Cold Steve Austin, chasing after the title because that's what's best for business. It's more entertaining that way. If Liv wins here, or if Rhea wins here, it's like, okay, well, why did we put Dom in the shark cage, and why is this still happening? But if Liv wins, we got so much to do. We got so much more to do. This is a love story, so you can do so many different things. We've seen it in the past with the great storylines that involved, loving and relationship and romantic couples. So I'm loving it. I think Damian loses, Rhea loses. That gives them motive to do more things, as in maybe another tag team match. maybe something along those lines. I'm not sure what's next, but I'm all for it. So I got Liv retaining here, and I guess for me the Shark Tank is cool, but I see some trickery. I don't know what I see, but I see something. I don't see Dom in the cage the entire match. Maybe the lights go off or go out, and he gets out of the cage, and I don't know. We'll see, but I can't wait. This is going to be a banger after banger after banger. Keith, let's get to it, baby.
That's a good point, man. It's a good point you bring up for sure. Liv, Rhea, Women's World Championship with Dom in a shark cage suspended above the ring. This might be an unpopular opinion, or maybe it's a popular one. I haven't really seen what everyone's saying about it. Liv's going to retain here still. There's a lot out of this feud. I just was talking about how much I don't really care about Priest Balor coming out of the Judgment Day breakup and everything. The big story really is, Liv, Rhea, Dom. So I don't think if Rhea wins here, that's putting too much of a kind of a final stamp on the whole thing. So I don't think that's where we go here, because there's still so much more to come out of this. Dom being in the shark cage, I think, lends to that a lot too. I think he's going to have something on him in some way, like we've seen in other shark cage matches in the past and stuff, especially if it's going to be like Enzo was, he'll be suspended above the ring, which I'm pretty sure that's what the stip is. But yeah, he'll have, brass knucks, or who knows, he'll have a chair stuffed down his pants or some nonsense like that he'll pull out, and he'll slip through the cage and drop down to Liv, so that Liv can, do whatever to beat Rhea by dirty Dom, dirty means, and all that. Yeah, I think that's just the way that it goes. It makes the most sense to me. There's a lot of legs still on this feud, and Rhea, whenever Rhea wins, because the end of this feud is Rhea winning it. But so if you're trying to keep those legs going, if you want to keep this all there, Rhea's got to lose here. Liv's got to retain. Doesn't have to be clean. Like I said, I don't really think it's going to be clean. I think there's going to be some kind of nonsense from Dom in the shark cage or whatever, however it's going to end up being. Maybe he RoboCops it and rips the door off and still interferes or whatever. But, yeah, whatever it ends up being, here, Liv's got to retain.
Say hello to my little friend, Keith. Let's get to the main event. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns going against the Bloodline, which is Solo and Jacob Fatu. This is just another match that's going to be entertaining. That doesn't make too much sense, but you gotta think this is heading to something or somewhere. It's just not going to be one tag team match, and then it's okay, see ya, Cody. Roman goes his way, Cody goes his way, and then the Bloodline are doing what they're doing currently, which is, doing as much as they can without all the family. But it seems like Jimmy is returning. He returned at a house show. Jay is your new IC champion. Roman just got back. We heard something on the Pat McAfee show with Cody Rhodes yesterday that maybe the big guy is returning at Bad Blood. We do not know, but it does seem like this is the start of what we wanted since Roman came back. We want, Rock to come back. We want to see Paul. We want to see the family, Jimmy, Jay, Solo, the whole Bloodline 1, 2, 3.0, and maybe we'll see a lot of other family members. But this just seems like this is the start of something special, and I think it's more about what happens during the match and maybe even at the end of the match. I don't think the wins or whoever loses, I don't think that matters at all. I don't think it does here. I think it's more important to see to see what happens during the match, the chemistry with Roman and Cody, as well as Solo and Jacob, and then also, at the end, because something big's going to happen here, and I'm with you. I think if this doesn't main event, then it's got to be the first match or the last match. Just with everything that could happen at the end of the match, it's lending itself to be somewhere, in the beginning or at the end. But I gotta go I gotta go the bloodline here. That is Solo and Jacob Fatu. We don't know if Cody and Roman can still work together. I mean, WrestleMania 40 was probably one of the biggest lows for Roman Reigns' career as a professional wrestler. He lost. It was a big ordeal. Finished the story. We were there. It was an awesome time. But yeah, I got to go Solo and Jacob just because doesn't matter. What is life? Like who cares who wins or loses? Let me get The Rock. Let me get the final boss. Let me get Paul Heyman. Let me get Jimmy and Jay. I mean, something is going to happen, is going to go down.
Oh, man, you're crazy for that one. I can't even believe you just said that. Main event here, Cody Roman versus Bloodline 2.0, which is listed as being Solo and Jacob Fatu. This is such a tough one to call also. I don't think this should be the main event, just to be completely honest. I said at the beginning, I know I talk a lot of smack on CM Punk and everything, but like, a Hell in a Cell is a Hell in a Cell. A Hell in a Cell should main event it. And hopefully it will. Hopefully I'm totally wrong on this, but I think because they're in Georgia, Cody's a Georgia boy, they're going to put the hometown boy in the main event. Plus it's Roman, like, his first match back. Which is why, honestly, to me, this is such a hard one to call, because it is Roman's first match back. It's really tough to be like, oh, he's going to lose. Like, they're going to lose because it's friggin' Roman. He's been gone for a while. Like, I don't know that they're going to have him lose. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's feeling like they also are not going to want to have Jacob Fatu lose. And they can't keep having Solo take pins from Cody and everything. So I don't know. I think if Cody and Roman are going to win, it's going to be Roman getting a pin on Solo to set up stuff, set up War Games, basically. If the Bloodline is going to win, it's going to be Jacob Fatu pinning Cody, which is wild to think about. I'm going to lock it in. Bloodline wins. Yeah. And I'm going to stick with what I said there too. I'm not even going to change my vote. Maybe it's not clean. Maybe I'll change it up that way. Maybe it's not like the cleanest of clean. But I think Solo and Jacob are going to win. I think Roman is not going to be the one to take the pin, which is crazy because I do think Cody will. Because I don't see Roman taking a pin in his first match back. So, man, it's really tough. I'm like doubting myself as I'm trying to explain myself. No, I locked it in. I'm going to lock it in. Yeah. Bloodline 2.0 wins. Jacob pins Cody, which is going to be a wild thing in and of itself. And like I said, maybe it's in some way because Tama Tonga Tangaloa are going to be around the outside still. There's always room for interference somewhere in some way or whatever. But we'll see. Because I honestly don't know. Like, I'm locking it in. I'm talking myself out of it. I'm going to stick with it. But maybe what's going to happen and what I think actually will now that I'm like thinking more about it, not changing my vote, keep me as Bloodline, and that's fine. Maybe Cody Roman win because Tama and Tanga start getting involved in some way, and then Jay's music hits, we get a heat off, he comes out to try to even the odds, numbers games are still against them, and then we get the return of Jimmy, and we, boom, we have War Games set up for Survivor Series, which is coming up rapidly anyway, so it makes all the sense in the world. That's probably what's going to happen. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'm not going to change it now. Bloodline will win, but really it's probably going to be Cody and Roman. But yeah,
I love it. This is the WWE 2024 Bad Blood predictions with your boys, Nick and the Duder, Keith himself, the juicy man himself. Keith, let's end this. Let's get going here. Let's finish the basement. Finished the basement. I can't wait to say that. I'm going to be your Michael Cole. Finished the basement. Let's get back to recording. Let's go live. We got a lot of good things happening in the future of the UW pod, but let's end it here. Keith, give the people what they want. How can they find you?
You already know. You can find me on Twitter at Keith of the Ring and Instagram at _Keith of the Ring. I'm also on TikTok, very rarely, but occasionally still also at Keith of the Ring.
Yes, sir. Have an awesome Saturday. Have an awesome weekend. Enjoy this early 6 p.m. EST PLE. It's going to be a banger. Hell in a Cell, Bad Blood. But more importantly, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time here on the UW Pod. And just remember, we got a fancy website. We have a fancy website, uwpod.com. And we're on all social media sites. So go follow us. Go interact with us. Go check us out. And enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next time. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Boom, baby.